Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. As always, I'm your host Sravan. We've got Tarun here with us.
Hey everyone.
And we've got a special guest, Kireeti, who's returning back on the podcast.
Hello.
So this is our annual Christmas episode. We did one last year where we talked about a couple of Christmas movies, and this year we're going to be doing the same. So Merry Christmas to everyone, because this is coming out on Christmas Day. So it's going to be the same deal as last year. So we're going to each talk about a Christmas movie. Could be a recent one, it could be an old one, it could be a good one or a not so good one. So we'll see what we've got in store. Okay, let's get started. I'll make a start then, because I've got the latest release actually. Just came out a couple of weeks ago. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about Christmas Chronicles 2, a follow-up to Christmas Chronicles from a couple of years ago, Netflix movie starring Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. So full disclaimer here, I wasn't completely concentrating while watching this movie. I was doing other stuff, but it was sort of running in the background. But I'll give you, from what I saw, this was the story. So basically, in the first one, there's a couple of kids who lose their father when they're younger, and their father was like a big fan of Christmas, and they used to lose. They
went to a shopping mall and they couldn't find him, so they just went home again.
Fair enough.
The guy's still at the shopping mall.
They never found him again.
Let's come to the milk bar.
Went to the milk bar, came back home, and their dad wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gone.
In the first one, what happens is there's a girl and a boy. The boy's the older child and the girl's the younger one. And the boy doesn't really believe in Christmas, so he's like he believes he's like too old for Christmas and doesn't believe in Santa. And then the young one is like all about Christmas and she still believes in Santa. But then Kurt Russell, Santa Claus, turns up and there's a bit of an adventure. Something happens with his sleigh, Kurt Russell's sleigh, I believe.
Kurt Russell is their father.
Nah.
Oh, damn it.
There isn't that level of a twist. So their father is actually...
I thought he got hijacked by the elves.
He got hijacked by the elves. Leaves his kids to go be Santa.
You wipe his memory. It's like it's a
dark shit, man.
Yeah, man. It's the dark elves.
But then anyway, they save the day. So like Santa Claus ends up, finding his sleigh, getting everything he needs, and then they save Christmas, and the children sort of help him on that journey in the first one. Second one, so we return to the same kids. They're slightly older now. What happens is there's sort of 3 or 2 concurrent stories happening in this. So one of them is about the children and their parents. So the children's mother now dates Tyrese
Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From Fast and Furious.
That guy is honestly the worst actor. He's also like the worst person ever. Have you seen?
Double whammy.
Oh man, I'm definitely not watching this movie.
He's not selling it, is he?
Jesus Christ.
The interesting thing is, so Tyrese is in this movie, but he's only in like 2 scenes. So
his kid's black?
No. So they're white. Okay. The mum's white, but there's another kid.
Sorry, why does race matter in this situation?
No, because if the kids were black and their dad disappeared, that's
Tyrese is their dad? She's dating their dad again.
What I'm saying is they're just conforming to stereotypes and the movie was racist.
Yeah, true. Okay, yeah, good point.
Saved it.
Yeah.
So basically, the daughter, so the son doesn't really feature in this one, so he's like older now, but he still believes in Santa Claus because he went through all that stuff in the previous movie, but he doesn't really feature in this movie. It's mostly about the daughter and the son of Tyrese, so who's now their stepbrother, and they don't really get along. So the son of Tyrese is pretty young. He's probably like 8 years old or something, and this girl's probably like 12, 13, and they don't really get along, and she doesn't really like Tyrese, so like she doesn't like the mother getting...
Classic.
She's racist.
Yeah, it's like race wars between the two.
And they all go on this holiday to Mexico. She's just like, she's not liking it because she likes a white Christmas holiday and she doesn't like this like summer.
Would you say white Christmas?
Dude, Black Lives Matter, man.
This movie's very, very racial undertones everywhere, isn't there? Yeah.
Are there hidden swastikas?
So then she like yells out to Santa. She goes on one of the nights. She sees like Tyrese and her mother dancing, and she's had enough. She's like, no, I need to get out of this place. And she yells out to Santa. This is the first story. So this is like the children's story. There's another story with this elf.
Hearing this, there's already one too many stories in this movie.
So there was this elf that was basically disowned by Santa back in the day, and the elf is played by the guy from Hunt for Wilder People, the kid.
Oh, right. Is this movie recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this year, like a couple
What's
of
that
weeks
kid's
ago.
name?
I'm not sure.
His name is, he's a legend. He's good.
He's good. Yeah.
He's in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Julian Dennison.
That's the one.
Yeah. So he's in this movie, and he's actually the main bad guy. He's the antagonist. So he was an elf back in the day, and he was Santa's like main elf, favorite elf. But then something happened, and Santa started sort of treating all the other elves like equally, and he wasn't like the favorite anymore. And then he starts to get jealous, and he starts to be like a naughty elf and just sabotaging all Santa's plans. So put graffiti on his sleigh, make all the other elves fail, and then one day
does he retain his New Zealand accent?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
okay, good.
He does. And then what happens is when elves are naughty, they turn into a human. They're like, there's some curse, and they turn into a human, and they're not elves anymore, and they're not immortal anymore or something.
Are all the elves kids?
They're like little
But are they
creatures.
kids?
They're not kids.
They're not kids.
They're like CGI.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
if they casted kids to be elves and they suddenly turn into these human adults, it's gonna be whack.
And then he turns into real Julian Dennison, so he's like an actual person now. But then he's plotting his revenge against Santa. So that's the other stories. And then he happens to be in Mexico, and he hears this girl.
Why is he in Mexico?
Why is everyone in Mexico?
And he hears this girl talk about Santa Claus and how she wants Santa to help her. And then he kind of says that he can help her. And he has this. He was an elf, right? So he used to create like different devices and stuff for Santa Claus, and one of them was it's basically like the space stone. You can transport to anywhere on Earth, and he has this device, and he transports her and her stepbrother to the North Pole, like in the middle of nowhere, and then
why the stepbrother?
Why?
Just because the story needs to continue.
Pretty much.
Producers
They needed
a black kid in the movie.
Need some racial diversity.
So the daughter decides that she's going to leave Mexico, and she like prepones her flight and everything. She does this on her own, and she's like, and then she runs into Julian Dennison, and he's like, "Oh, I can give you a lift to the airport." And then the stepbrother, he happens to overhear her like when she's walking away, and he jumps in the back of the car, so she doesn't know he's with them until.
Does he also want to bail on the trip?
No, he doesn't. Yeah. So she was meant to.
Why does he jump in the back of the car?
So she was meant to be babysitting him, and she tells him to like go look at something, and she walks away, and then he just follows her.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they get warped to the North Pole, and I think Julian Dennison's plan was just to like leave them for dead, pretty much in the North Pole. But they just happened to.
This kid's been kicked out for right reasons. He's probably in Mexico smuggling drugs as well.
So then Santa Claus just happens to be doing. He's actually, when you first see Santa Claus in this movie, he's hunting this like giant cat that lives in the North Pole.
This movie just suddenly got better.
What the hell? Is this Red Dead Redemption 2?
This is amazing.
And then he sees the two kids like freezing to death in the North Pole, and he goes and saves them.
Lucky he was hunting that cat.
Yeah. That's actually what he said. It's like, lucky I was hunting this giant cat, or else I wouldn't have seen you. And then he brings him back to the North Pole, like he's where he lives with Mrs. So Mrs. Claus is in this one. She wasn't in the first
Kurt
one.
Russell again, right?
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
And Goldie Hawn is
Goldie Hawn.
It's his wife.
Yeah, but who is she?
His wife in real life.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't think they're actually married,
movie
but
is she?
yeah.
I think they're... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's Kate Hudson's mum.
Yeah, Kate
She's
Hudson.
Kate Hudson's mum.
Yeah, okay. What movie is she in?
No idea.
I can
She's in this movie with Kate Hudson.
yeah,
It might be called Gold Rush, maybe.
Let me give you some of the movies that she's known for. She's known for. Okay, no, I don't know any of these movies.
Show me what she looks like.
That was her maybe like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I don't recognize this person. Yeah, okay, whatever. I was trying to visualize this piece of shit movie, but
Who cares?
yeah. Thankfully, I don't know who's involved.
But anyway, so what happens is he brings these kids back to his home, and Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus have dinner with these kids, and Mrs. Claus is really happy because it's been years since they've had kids in their house. So she...
Oh, this is dodgy. This is going somewhere. Go on.
and then Santa Claus is like, no, we need to take you guys back to Mexico where your parents are. And then they're like, can we just stay the night at least? And then she's...
This is going very dodgy.
And then they're like...
There's the keys to the dungeon.
And then they're like, yeah, okay, fine, you can stay the night. So they stay the night. But what happens during the night is Julian Dennison put a tracker on one of the kids, and he finds out where Santa Claus is, and then he breaks into their, well, it's like a village, like the Santa's village. And okay, there's one more thing in this story. So what powers?
I refuse. You can't add anything else into this. There's already too many things going on.
So Julian Dennison's plan was to just teleport them into the North Pole and bet on the fact that Santa's going hunting for fucking big cats.
Wait, did it?
Right?
Also,
and therefore he will find the kids.
Yeah.
And therefore he'll take them back to his house, and hence he'll find out where Santa lives.
But also, didn't he used to live in the North Pole? So shouldn't he already know where that is?
I think so. There's this like magical force field that's around the village, and not anyone can get in. So only Santa
it's like
can
Harry
let
Potter,
it.
bro.
But then how's he going to get in then?
It's Harry Potter.
Because he,
It's like you need to know the location.
yeah,
And it needs to be told. Except it's not Harry Potter because it was never told.
No. Yeah. It's not told. He's got a tracker on them.
but anyway, he
Anyway.
the reason
happening.
he's come to the village is because there's this star that sits in the middle of the village that powers everything in Santa's village. So, and then there's this whole exposition scene about like how Santa's village produces more than Amazon does in like a year or something in a day. Like they've got all these elves and they're like all this industrial production happening with toys and everything. And he explains that. And
Except no one pays for it, so
yeah.
they're doing it all for nothing.
Their stock prices must be very low.
So
Where are they getting? That's why they sent Julian to Mexico. He's doing some illegal shit.
They need to get some money laundering. Yeah.
So he's basically come to steal this star because that's the source of all the energy. So that's why he's actually there. And he comes there and the reindeers have I think the plot twist is that cat is owned by Julian Dennison or something as well. So maybe it was all a setup. So the cat invades the village and fights one of the reindeer.
Is it actually just a cat?
It's like a massive cat. It's like a
cat. It's not like a lion.
It's like, well,
it's a feral cat.
It's pretty much like a cat. Yeah, it's not a lion. It's just a giant cat. And then the cat has a fight with one of the reindeers, and I think it's like Dasher or something, and Dasher gets injured, critically injured. So
Dasher dies. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
This movie's going to dark places.
He gets critically injured, right?
Dasher.
And then Julian Dennison steals the star. So then they split up.
And that's the end of the movie?
Please.
No, so this is only the start. There's like a whole different thing. There's like we're not even halfway through.
That's bullshit.
There's like a whole different section coming up now. So now they split into two teams. So Mrs. Claus and the kid, the little kid, they're like a team and they need to take care of the village. And then what Julian Dennison does before he leaves the village with the star is he puts some vapor into the air that makes all the elves go crazy and like naughty.
It's weird.
So they start they start like ransacking the place. And then Mrs. Claus and the little kid, they have to get an antidote for the elves. So he has to go into the forest to get some plant that can be used as the antidote. So him and Mrs. Claus are doing this mission. And then Santa Claus and the daughter are on another mission, so that they need to go find Julian Dennison.
What's that Chiranjeevi movie where he needs to go to the forest and find that plant?
Is there a movie?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one, like the really old one with Sridevi.
Oh, yeah. Jagadeka Veera
That's the one.
Athilok Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you tell me. it's
No
called
one's
that
going to
movie.
get this reference, but yeah.
A very, very obscure reference in another language. Fair enough.
I think maybe 3 people make it.
While they're chasing Julian Dennison, he's created this other teleporting device. So it's not only teleports you to another place, but it can teleport you either forward or backward in time as well. And he chucks this on Santa's sleigh and he sends them back to 1990 Boston. So they land in Boston Airport in 1990.
I've lost.
There's too much happening in this movie.
I don't understand what's happening.
And I'm not liking it.
And then, so the other thing is Santa's sleigh is
There
powered
can't
by.
be another thing. There's too many things in this movie already.
There's a lot of lore here.
So we're not even halfway through.
Oh, we're getting there. We're sort of 3/4 now. So they're landed in.
I refuse that there's another thing. You can't explain this other thing.
According to your logic, your stupid logic about these bloody Infinity Stones, this movie gets all the stones. It gets all the stones.
So
It does. It's true.
So, okay, now they're in Boston in 1990. It's like a blizzard, and they're in the airport. And what Santa's sleigh is driven by is Christmas spirit. So the Christmas spirit needs to be high in order to...
Me and Kireeti just audibly sighed at that.
and then they've landed in Boston airport in 1990 when there was a blizzard, and all the planes are grounded. So the Christmas spirit is on an all-time low.
It's like Spirit Bomb all over again.
So what they need to do now is, firstly, they need to go into the airport and they need to increase the Christmas spirit. Kurt Russell has a bit of a music number where he like sings a Christmas song and everyone's Christmas spirit increases. And he has magic as well. So he can like make clouds go away and make blizzards go away. So he does that. I don't know why he had to sing, because he could have just like made the clouds go away. But he sings and then he does that. And also they find out that that little device that Julian Downson puts on the sleigh is powered by batteries. So they need to get some AAA batteries.
Oh my God. The time stone is powered by AAA batteries.
And then the girl, she's in charge of getting the batteries, and Santa's in charge of increasing Christmas spirit. So the girl goes and tries to buy some batteries, and she runs into this other kid because she gets caught because she gives it's like $5, but she gives a 2020 bill, and they're like, this is not, is this some like fake bill or something? And she gets caught by the police and put in some cell.
Does she meet her own family?
So she meets another kid, and that kid turns out to be her dad. Back in 1990, so he's still a kid.
He's young Tyrese Gibson.
Well, no.
Dude, it can't be Tyrese Gibson. It should be half black. Unless she pulls like a Drake. Have you seen Drake's kid?
No.
I mean, we're totally going into
He's going in a different direction, yeah.
Dude, Drake on Instagram put a do-rag on his kid, and his kid is white and has blonde curly hair. You know
Well,
what a do-rag is?
Drake's a halfie anyway, so
Yeah,
his
I know.
kid's a quarter.
It's mad. It's crazy. Anyway, it reminds me of that.
Okay.
Wow.
Continue. I hate to say this, but continue.
Okay, so she ends up...
My story is better than yours.
that was actually quite interesting, so that's why I
It
didn't
was, yeah.
interrupt you. Okay, so she ends up meeting her father, and she only finds out just when she has to leave, and Santa Claus is like, we've got to go say goodbye, and she says there's a
Have
little...
they at least like done this thing where her father at some stage referenced this kid that he met in the past? Like, you know how like where it's like it's all fate, where the loop was already done? No? There's no reference to time travel at all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know when someone
The
talks
father's
about...
dead. How would he tell
No,
her?
back in the day. Wasn't there...
No, but he was lost in the supermarket.
But like in the... Oh, it's in the first movie. This is the second movie,
the
isn't
second movie, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God, man.
Yeah.
He's still in the supermarket, man. He can't.
it? He's trying to find some milk.
Yeah.
And the way she finds out that it's her father is he has this knife that he gave her when, like, after
That
she
he
was,
murders people.
and it has some like Christmas slogan or something on it, and she's like, yeah, that's definitely my father. And then she finds out his name right at the end, and it's her father's. It's like Ted or something, which is her father's name. Anyway, they have a heartfelt moment where she hugs him, and he's like creeped out because he's like, why is this random girl that I just met hugging me?
This guy hasn't gone through puberty yet. I was a bit excited.
And then they fix up the little time travel thing. They go back to the present day. They catch Julian Dennison, get the star. There's a bit of...
She should have brought her father back. She should have.
As a kid.
Yeah. Hey, you still have dad.
They yeah.
So weird.
It would be. That's mind-bending shit right there.
It's Tenet. It's Tenet.
Which was what we were meant to be talking about. Well, we're talking about this now. Okay.
Oh, this is just as good.
Arguably better.
Tarun, I think, understood more about this movie through this bullshit story than Tenet by actually watching Tenet.
Okay, so they're back to present day. There's a bit of a fight at the end between Julian Dennison back in the village. Oh, I haven't even talked about what the other kid was doing. So the other kid, he has to go into
he's dead.
So
unless this leads to him dying, you stop right here.
So he almost dies.
Oh,
so,
you're continuing. So he dies. I'm looking forward to this story that ends in him dying.
So Mrs. Claus, she gives him 2 gingerbread cookies, like ginger biscuits, and one of them is like an explosive one. So she's like, use this one to, if someone tries to attack you, use this one to blow them up. And then the other one is meant to give you courage if you eat it. And then he forgets which one's which. So one of them's like a snowman and one of them's just like a normal gingerbread man. And he forgets which one's which.
Do they look different?
So he does die. He eats one and he explodes.
Do they look different?
Yeah. One of them's white and one of them's like brown. Like one of them's a gingerbread man.
This is like the worst weapons manufacturing. Surely you would say what he does.
So she tells him, but he forgets. And then he goes...
Santa Claus family deserves to die. I'm on Julian Dennison's side. I swear, these guys are terrorists. They're just delivering like these gingerbread things to little kids. They just blow up.
So he gets...
In 1990, there was a terrorist attack, wasn't there? Didn't Bin Laden fail his terrorist attack in 1990? Kenyan embassy blew up. Gingerbread man. He tried the World Trade Center, I'm pretty sure, in like the 90s.
So you're linking failed terrorist attacks to the Christmas Chronicles too.
I'm trying to make this bloody movie interesting.
But this is in present day. This is back in present day.
Now we're double demonetized.
So he has to go into the woods, and he has another confrontation with the giant cat, because the giant cat lives in the woods. And the giant cat just happens to live on this rock that has the plant that he needs to get. So he sort of gets attacked by the cat, but he chucks he figures out which one is the right one, and he chucks the explosive biscuit at the cat, and the cat runs away.
So he ate the other one?
And he ate the other one. So he ate the other one before he went onto the ledge.
I think I know how he figured it out. He ate it, and then he didn't die.
I got it.
Process of elimination tells me that.
So he ate the other one. He felt more courageous. He did his thing, brought the plant back. They cure all the elves, so that now they're back to normal. And then they have a bit of a confrontation. They have a bit of a fight at the end with Julian Denson. What happens? And then Julian Denson slowly realizes that he was wrong, and Santa Claus and...
What makes him realize he was wrong?
Well, he's back at home, and then they're like, this is not you. We still love you, and you're one of our favorite elves, and we're just waiting for you to come back. And then he's like, slowly... he realizes, it's not the most convincing thing, but he turns back into an elf now. So he's from a human, he's back into an elf. The reason he was doing all this was because he could break the curse as well, and he could turn back into an elf because he didn't like being a human as well. That was another thing.
How do you break the curse? By
Well, he thought he could break the curse by destroying the city.
But then why would you want to be an elf if...
Because...
So you can live longer?
Yeah, I think so.
Idiot.
Yeah. And you have magical powers when you're an elf, and I guess when you're a human, you don't. Yeah. But then he finds out that the only way to break the curse is if he comes back
himself.
and
and
he realizes.
I wish.
So he ends up coming back, and
someone bloody better die in this movie.
Yeah, dude. When does that black kid die?
You promised us something, and you're not delivering.
You sound like the KKK.
Triple demonetized now. How many times is this going to get demonetized?
You've been so demonetized, you're actually monetized again.
Okay, so it's a happy ending. Like, everyone's happy. He's back. All the elves are happy. Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are happy. These kids, they end up going back to Mexico, and she realizes that so the daughter realizes the importance of family, and she likes her stepbrother now, and she accepts Tyrese, her stepfather, as well. There's actually a part before she leaves for the
Wait. How does she accept this guy?
Because
the whole family thing.
The whole family thing, and then she has some conversation with her child father, and he's like, she tells him about...
Dude, you have to respect black people. That's what the kid said.
No, like he says something to her. It's like, you've just got to accept that your father is not there anymore, and you just got to move on. And she realizes that, and she moves on. And there's a part just before, like at the beginning, where Tyrese is like, let's sing a Christmas song, and he's like, why not? Let's sing Christmas Tree. And then she's like, she just walks away because that was her father's favorite Christmas song, and she didn't like Tyrese singing it, so she's just like, nah, I'm leaving. But then at the end, they all have a combined rendition of Christmas Tree together as a family, and everyone's happy.
Oh damn! I thought Tyrese Gibson was going to sing.
So literally,
What's that song in Fast and Furious 2? No, actually, that's not from that, is it?
Which one?
The Daddy Yankee song.
Yeah, it's from 5.
Dun, 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 na, na, na.
Yeah.
I don't know what song.
I know the.
Is that from Fast 5?
It's from 5, I think. Yeah.
Was there not a famous song in Fast 2?
I don't think so.
I mean, all the movies blend together.
Anyway, that's not really a Christmas song, mate.
It's a Miami Christmas band.
So, couple of Easter eggs in this. So,
one.
Are they all references to the first movie? If they are,
no,
they're not fucking Easter eggs.
They're not references to the first movie. So, this is directed by Christopher Columbus, who directed Home Alone
And Harry Potter.
And the first two Harry Potters.
First two.
First two, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, first one.
No, 4. Well,
No, the first
two.
two. First
Who's
two,
the
yeah.
fourth?
Fourth is
Some
Mike.
dickhead.
Yeah, I was about to say
Mike Newell.
You
Yeah.
fucked that one. Okay.
Yeah, he directed the first two Home Alones, and there's a Home Alone reference in this movie. So when they go back to 1990, which is when the first Home Alone happened,
Yeah.
there's a very angry lady in
With
Boston.
some birds.
No, that's Home Alone 2.
There's a very angry lady with birds in the airport.
In Boston Airport, there's a very angry lady, and they're basically saying, you know, all the flights are cancelled, and she's like, I need to get to Chicago, and that was
His mum.
that was a reference to Kevin McAllister's mother. So Christopher Columbus is linking it back to his own movies. That's one Easter egg that was there.
You know what? I appreciate the Easter egg, but I would not watch this movie for
On a
that.
scale of 1 to 10, that Easter egg gets 8.
That's pretty high.
I was waiting for like a 0.3 from Tarun.
I appreciate it.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
It's probably not his best Christmas movie, but for sure. And it's probably, out of the two Christmas Chronicles movies, this is probably the weaker one as well.
I said the Easter egg was 8 out of 10, by the way. The movie is probably like a 1. that was bullshit.
Yeah, dude. How did you spend 30 minutes explaining this movie to us?
I hated every minute of it.
You should do like public speaking. Like you didn't even prepare this.
Yeah, I did.
When did you watch this movie?
Last week? Or a week and a half ago? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decently recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Just wait until my bullshit review of bloody.
I guess the biggest positive of this movie is Kurt Russell. He's actually he just acts like Kurt Russell. Like he's not even Santa Claus, so it's pretty funny. And I guess Mrs. Claus was okay as well. Yeah. But apart from that, there's not that much going for this movie. So I'd give it a cognitive. What did we used to call it? Regression. Yes, cognitive regression.
Nah, let's go Infinity Stones. Time Stone, tick.
Yeah.
What are the rest?
Soul Stone.
Yeah, it has like
It's got the feel.
got
great
Christmas,
soul.
yeah.
It's got racial reintegration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Space? Does it have
Yeah,
space?
they teleport. He literally said there's a space stone.
Yeah.
He teleports them from like civilization to the North Pole.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. It's got the time stone.
It's got time stone to go back in time.
They go
Did I
back
say
in time.
time already? Oh, yeah, whatever. 3. Are we on 3?
1, 3.
Mind Stone.
It makes me think about how shit this movie is. What's the
There's nothing mind bending about this. It's very straightforward.
It's mind-bendingly shit.
mind bending that some idiot actually made this movie?
The Power Stone.
It is a powerful movie. Yeah, look, we're struggling.
Santa Claus has powers, but yeah, he does magic. But
What's the bloody last
There is another stone. Reality.
reality, it's not realistic at all.
Sure. Is that how you hand out the reality stone?
To be honest, I just do whatever I want.
Yeah,
There's no rhyme or logic to it. Yeah.
yeah. Even in the Infinity Stone rating, it gets like 3 out. And we
Yeah.
very loosely gave out that space and time stone.
And I guess maybe Soul is the one it probably gets.
No, he gets nothing. Let's be honest, he gets nothing.
It's shit. We haven't watched this movie, but from your explanation, it was one of the worst things I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's not as good as
All
The
right.
Parent Trap,
It's
which I watched the other day.
Is The Parent Trap a Christmas movie?
Nope.
no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Parent Trap is, let me just say, The Parent Trap is a fucked up movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
This is the Lindsay Lohan one,
there is
right?
something fucked up about parents deciding to split their kids when they're twins. You split them up and you never make contact again. That's whack. Identical twins, you shouldn't do that to them.
They never know that they had a sibling, right?
I know, but there's all these studies about identical twins, and they're very codependent. And also, like, wouldn't you like introduce your sibling? Like, well, you're just going to tell them that half your family doesn't exist? Like, what the hell? It's whack.
And did they know that she knew that she had a mother, right?
Yeah, and just his dad just wouldn't talk about it. Same the other way around. And then also the mum's reaction when she realizes it's her other child who she's never seen is just like, "Oh, you're the other child." Oh, I'm like, bitch, please, it's your fucking daughter that you haven't seen in years. Anyway, what?
I don't know where that came from, but okay.
You know what? That's probably a better review than the movie I'm going to talk about.
I do enjoy the part in that movie where they go camping, and you know his like new girlfriend, the father's new girlfriend.
Oh yeah, she loses the plot.
Yeah,
she has like a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
Look, making fun of mental health is great.
Anyway, there's a mini Parent Trap review for you guys.
Any other quick reviews we're gonna do?
I'm good.
You gonna go last? Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go. Yep.
Because I'm gonna need some help because I haven't seen. All right, so my movie's
What
Die
are you doing?
Hard.
You're doing Die Hard. Okay.
Die Hard with a bit of a twist. No, I'm just gonna do Die Hard. But look, Die Hard
with Love Actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna mix them all together. But I haven't seen. I've not seen Die Hard in a long time. It is a very good movie, right? When did it come out?
1988.
1988. Wow. Okay, so I wasn't alive. You were just born.
I was barely alive. Yeah,
You're still barely alive. But
came out in July.
what a roast.
July 1988.
So what is Die Hard? What's this guy's name? McLean?
John McClane.
John McClane.
John McClane.
Yeah.
All right. So John McClane is, and what city is this based in? This is the worst. I'm the guy
It's
that's
Nakatomi Plaza in
Chris.
Nakatomi Plaza in
It's not like New York or
Boston.
LA. Is it Boston?
He's an NYPD detective. So
Yes.
But it's not in New York.
It's not in
That's not
New
the
York.
question we asked, mate. That's
It's not in New York.
irrelevant information.
All right.
It's
It's
not in New York
not- it's not in New York.
because he took a flight there.
It's somewhere. It's
Boston.
It's not snowing, right? So it'd be.
Dude, where is it set?
Just give us a city.
It's in Los Angeles because
Okay.
Is it LA?
yeah,
Oh, it is LA. Okay.
Yeah.
because it's not snowing or anything, so it can't be any of those.
All right. So John McClane's having some problems
Gave
with
us
his wife.
three pieces of irrelevant information
How could
before
you-
you gave us.
We literally asked what city it was, and he was
like,
like,
"Oh,
"This
he's
guy,
a New York
this guy
detective."
works in New York."
Yeah.
I'm just giving you additional information. Okay. Yep.
And despite multiple claims by Tarun that it's in Boston, you just didn't even correct him. You're just like,
You're just like, oh,
it's snowing. Like, what's going on?
it wasn't snowing there, so
I believe this is Alan Rickman's first film. It is. It's his first film.
Who?
okay.
Alan Rickman's first
Oh,
film. Yeah.
All right. So John McClane is I guess now we know, a New York police detective.
NYPD.
Or officer, NYPD.
Yeah.
He's gone to LA to meet his wife, maybe patch things up. I think they're having some issues. Flies over there. I think she has like a work event in this skyscraper, right? Was it recently built skyscraper or something? Don't really know. So yeah, I saw this movie a long time ago. So
People listening to this probably know more about this movie than we do.
100%. Yeah. So John McClane goes into the building, meets his wife, leaves the room. Terrorist attack happens. He spoils the plot, and then his wife is alive, and that's the end of the movie.
That's pretty much it.
So essentially, I think what happens is in between all this, you have like little flashbacks to this German terrorist organization. I think they're German. They are German.
They're always German. Yeah.
It is Alan Rickman, right?
Alan
Yeah, it's
Rickman.
Alan
Yeah.
Rickman.
Yeah. So they're German.
His name's Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
a German name.
Yeah.
If there's
Yeah, of course.
This-
This is the most German thing I've ever heard.
yeah.
Yeah, and so essentially they're like on the inside of the building. They're like found their ways through the building. They're like doing all sorts of things. They're trying to take these guys hostage. I actually don't know what they're trying to achieve. What are they trying to achieve?
They try and drill into the vault.
Is there a vault there? Is it a bank? Jesus.
No.
I picked the wrong movie.
No. Mate, this is your movie.
Okay.
You could have at least looked at Wikipedia before we came out.
Nope. 3 seconds ago, I was going to do Love Actually. Oh, man, I would have butchered that even more. Because I can't remember what the main...
At least Love Actually doesn't have a plot, so you can just say whatever you want.
Yeah. So essentially what happens is, look, there's this terrorist organization. I think the best thing about this movie is kind of how John McClane cleverly is able to undo these guys. And the whole time, I think he doesn't have shoes on. And he's pretty much, I think he was like getting changed. And then the attack happened and he got stuck in this room. And so didn't have shoes on, steps on like all this broken glass and like kind of goes to the ringer despite being like barely covered. And essentially the terrorist organization thinks that it's very easy to do whatever they need to do, but they didn't anticipate that this random New York cop / detective / superhero would be there. He kills them all and, embraces his wife at the end. One famous line is what? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demonetized ×4 now.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to describe the action. The action is really good.
Yeah.
Especially for like an 80s movie. I think the movie ages well as well. It doesn't heavily rely on like graphics or anything, so you can watch it and be pretty happy with it. I reckon, I don't know, man. Like, I watched this movie for the first time maybe in like 2010, and that was because I was like at the stage in life where I was like, oh, okay, I need to watch some like good movies. So I was making my way down from like the IMDb top 250, and it was pretty high up. And I reckon it's one of the best movies I've seen.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
But
that's not like 6 years ago. I don't know why I chose it.
I think I saw it last year. It's good. It's good.
It's good value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably one of Bruce Willis's
Best movies. It's probably the one he's most known for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole like, what, have they got 5, 6 movies?
Yeah, they gradually probably got worse.
Decline in quality. Yeah.
100%. Also, I would think that like this terrorist activity would keep your family together, but at some point in time they end up divorcing. So he did the whole thing to save his wife.
Jai Courtney, so that's just a double.
Yeah.
That's just a double blacklist there. That's what happens when you get divorced. Your son ends up being Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
It's whack. I don't know, but overall it's quite a good movie.
And I guess it was inspirational for a lot of action films that came afterwards as well, that had a similar sort of, I guess, theme to them.
Did Pulp Fiction come after this? It must have.
No, I think it's before.
Is that Bruce Willis's first?
No, I don't think so. I think he did things before that.
Yeah, he did.
He was on a
before this.
show, Moonlighter.
Yeah. I think that was his thing. And then
that's
what about Love Actually, man? What about Chiwetel Ejiofor getting cuckolded?
Oh, is that him? That is him, isn't it?
It is him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he the one that marries?
Yeah.
Keira Knightley.
Knightley?
Also, Keira Knightley's like 16 when that movie was filmed.
Yeah. So, like, I didn't realize how young she was with her. David in Bend It Like Beckham. She's like 17.
Yeah. So she's like 16 and Chiwetel Ejiofor's like 30.
Yeah, or at least. Like, apparently the kid in that movie, he's only like 3 or 4 years younger than Keira
That's
Knightley.
Jojo. That's what's that guy's name in Game of Thrones?
Nah, it's not him.
It's him.
Different kid. Nah, it's different kid.
Wait.
No, it's not Joffrey.
No, not Joffrey. Yeah. But it's Jojen.
Oh yeah, that kid. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that kid.
that's him.
Yeah. Different.
Why do you think I said Joffrey?
No, I thought you were talking about a different kid. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. There's weird shit about that movie.
So in that movie, you have Liam Neeson, whose wife's dead, right?
And then his son
can't deal with
is like trying to creep on some 6-year-old girl.
Oh shit! What?
Isn't that what's happening? And he's giving his son advice about
that's
how
right.
to. Yeah.
And then there's also Alan Rickman, that snaky bastard.
Yeah, he's hitting on his receptionist.
Yeah, true to Snape, innit? He's hitting on his receptionist. Nearly goes all the way. Or maybe he hinted that he does, maybe. Don't know.
But he buys her a necklace.
And
so
Emma Thompson, Emma Thompson figures it out.
So Emma Thompson's his wife, right?
Yeah, his wife. And then, they still end up, kind of forgives him. And then there's, obviously.
There's Hugh Grant, who's the Prime Minister, and he hooks up with his receptionist as well.
That's right.
There's a lot of receptionists hooking up in this movie.
Far out.
But he's not married or anything, right?
Cheers to all the pregnant receptionists out there.
Yeah.
But he's not married, but she also works for him.
So if we're done with anything more on Love Actually, there's also Martin Freeman, right? Who's like some actor or something.
He's like doing an erotic film, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I can't remember this.
I think some versions
that's my
cut
kid.
this out, but yeah.
Yeah, Martin Freeman's doing like a porn film. Demonetized times fine.
Oh damn! I gotta watch this movie again.
Yeah. I don't like it.
You don't like Love Actually?
Look, it's okay.
I think it's a good movie.
It spawned all those remakes of movies where there's like 15 different storylines and then they loosely
For
come
each,
together.
there's
Bloody Valentine's Day?
Yeah, there's different one for each festive
Each public
occasion.
holiday.
Fucking Taylor Swift.
There's
piece
like
of shit.
Is that Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's with Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift, and they're like, oh, Taylor and Taylor. Shut the fuck up.
and there's like Mother's Day and there's
New Year's Day. That's got Zac Efron.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
They're all shit. They're all shit.
Yeah. No, I think Love Actually is good. I think it's good at capturing certain things, but it's like
It's also very cliched at this point, I think.
yeah. But if it started it, it's technically not the cliche. It's everything else that came after it that's a cliche.
Okay.
What you got? Any other movies we should just quickly go through?
No, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Let's go on to the final one, which is much you've told us. Well, you haven't told us anything. You kept it a surprise. So let's see what it is. Yeah.
I don't know if Kireeti's heard of this. I know you have heard of this.
I probably have. Yeah.
I'm going for the Star Wars Holiday Special, which came out in 1978.
Yep.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Unfortunately, I have.
You've heard of this?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
1978?
1978.
And when was the first movie?
So the first movie came out before this.
Okay.
And then the second movie came out after this.
Yeah.
So this was shot in the middle of both of them.
And this is a full movie.
Loosely,
It's
yes.
very-
Very loosely.
I wouldn't call it a movie. Like it was a TV movie,
It's
right?
a TV movie,
Yeah.
but it is 98 minutes, which
That's a
Jeez,
movie.
that's long.
it's a movie. Yeah.
If you know the plot,
Congratulations, you
look,
made it.
the plot.
if you know the plot, that is very long.
It's very long
for what
for what
the plot
it is. Which, and I will go through the plot in a second. So this was made in the middle of the first two Star Wars to keep Star Wars hype going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question, and it might be hard to answer for all of us, but how much hype was there after that first movie?
Huge, very huge.
I know retrospectively we would think it's huge,
No.
but Star Wars
It
Appreciation
was sold
is, like,
out for years.
escalated.
It was sold out for like a year. The first Star Wars movie, like every
Shit,
show
okay.
was. Yeah, it was huge.
I mean, it was
which
the
is why
first,
they
yeah.
made. Which is why they made this. They're like, oh, Empire Strikes Back is still going to be 2 years away.
Yeah.
We need to do something in the
So
middle.
let's just make
Let's
another
make-
movie.
Let's make a Star Wars
So I
holiday
guess,
special.
like Star Wars is what like Avengers is now for us. Like Star Wars back then was Avengers now, pretty much. Yeah.
This is what do you think is the worst Star Wars thing ever made?
The most recent one. No, as in like the
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Or it's between that and that other one.
Phantom Menace.
No, number 8.
Last Jedi.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
So this is-
It's like they're so shit. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
This is 50 times worse
This
than
is
either
this is
of those.
definitely this is the worst.
George Lucas said that if he had the time and money, he would find every copy of this and burn them.
Was he involved in making
Yes. So there was another director who filmed 2 days of this and then quit because he said he couldn't do it. But it was directed by Steve Binder in the end.
Who's that?
I don't know. Don't care. So this is loosely a movie. It's about Chewie getting home for Life Day, which is like Star Wars Christmas. So he's trying to get home for Life Day, and he's getting chased by the Empire. So that's a story. That's the whole story. There's nothing more to the story.
Where does the end of the first movie leaves us? In what way?
At the end of the first movie, they destroy the Death Star, and they're happy. That's kind of it. Yeah. So this is after that, and Chewie's trying to get home for Life Day, and then it cuts to Chewie's home. This is actually the first on-screen rendition of Kashyyyk.
Of what?
Kashyyyk, the Wookiee planet. So most of this movie is just set in Chewie's home, where his son, his wife, and
What?
I
He
think
has
it's
a
his
family?
dad. I think it's his dad. I'm not sure.
There's an older one.
There's
Yeah.
an old guy.
Yeah.
It's his wife and his son.
So you're telling me Chewie has just abandoned his family for the rest of the movies? Like,
Yes. And so basically, his family, this is all set basically in the home. And as you know, Wookiees only speak by grunting. And most of this movie is set in the home, and there's no subtitles. It's just Wookiees grunting at each other. And
Fuck yeah.
there's loose. So it's like do you know what a variety show is? It's like a, how do I explain a variety show?
Like there's
a
different
bunch of different
segments.
segments.
Sure.
So what the movie's intercut with is one of the family members like picks up like a screen or like goes into a hologram, and then
The kid, right? I think the kid's watching some show.
So there's different ones. The dad or the older Wookiee, I don't know who he is. He puts on like a VR headset, and this woman like erotically dances for him, and he really enjoys it. It goes for like 15 minutes.
Oh my god! How can I get my hands on this movie? And some Vaseline. I mean,
So that's one of the segments, and then another one of the segments is the kid looks at a dartboard or something. It's like a chessboard, and a Cirque du Soleil performance happens for 15 minutes.
And then there's some random cartoon of...
This is actually the best part. It's this is the first on-screen appearance of Boba Fett as well.
Yeah.
There's a cartoon in it where
Is
I
it
know what happens.
C-3PO and R2-D2?
And Han Solo and
Yeah.
and Chewie. They're doing some shit, and Boba Fett's in it. The kid picks up his iPad or whatever the fuck it is and watches a cut.
It's ahead of its
weird.
time.
Okay, it's weird because in this movie, Chewie's trying to get home to his kid for Life Day, but also there's like a public broadcast of Chewie as a TV show, as a cartoon. So I don't know what's happening in this universe.
sounds like we really need to watch this soon and get drunk to this movie.
There's this other segment where it's like a Julia Child cooking show where this lady with robot arms is cooking and everything goes wrong, and the wife's watching it while she like tries to cook shit. This is legit.
Everything goes wrong and she's watching that.
It goes for 20 minutes as well. This
Oh my god!
And this is before Chewie turns up, right?
they cut back and forth. So
Yeah.
like.
So essentially, they're trying to tell Jewish should just not go back home. Just absolute shit show.
The funny thing is the Empire goes to Chewie's house because they think he's going to be there. They're searching for him.
Yeah.
And they're like searching the house, and the kid's like, "Oh, I'm just going to pick up this iPad and watch this cartoon for 15 minutes now."
Fuck.
This is a thing that was made.
And the most amazing thing is they actually got all the cast back for this.
Okay, so Mark Hamill's in it, where Chewie's dad, or whoever this old guy who loves the erotic VR thing, he calls Mark Hamill, and he's like, "Ugh," and then Mark Hamill's like, "No, I haven't seen them," and that's it basically.
Harrison Ford's in it.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's in it because he's trying to get Chewie home. Anyway, it's a bunch of variety shows for about an hour, and then at the end, Chewie gets home and they defeat the Empire or whatever. Like they throw one guy off a cliff or something.
Empire defeated.
Yeah. And then what's her name? Princess Leia's in it as well. They all get orbs, and they're all wearing robes, and they get orbs.
What do you mean? Like what horse?
Like it's an orb. They're just holding a sphere.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they walk into the space. They walk into space, and then they walk through a portal, and then they end up. This is legit. I'm not making this shit up.
What do you mean? Like, so they? When does this happen?
Okay, so Chewie got home.
Chewie got home.
And everyone's reunited.
Is this part of a ritual?
Yes, this is Life Day.
Okay. First of all, what the fuck is Life Day?
This is Life Day.
What the fuck is Life Day?
To be honest,
So you're telling me?
the movie never explains
Are
it,
you
so I
telling
don't
me,
know.
despite the fact that throughout Star Wars, all these civilizations that definitely do not believe in the same thing, they all believe in fucking Life Day.
In Life Day, it's universal. Life Day is okay. So they're all safe, and then they all get an orb, and they walk into the stars, and then they walk through a portal, and then they walk into this. It's like a open area with like a cathedral.
It's a bit ironic that it's called Life Day when Christmas is a celebration of Jesus' death.
And then Princess Leia sings a song.
Does the actor actually sing it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. It's very, very bad. And that's
The song's
end
not good either.
The song's set to the Star Wars tune with lyrics. It's a Star Wars tune with lyrics.
It's like they thought, let's like just do the most cliched piece of shit we could think of.
And that's the end of the movie.
It's like a fan fiction. Like, what is this? This is a fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's
What do you
worse
think?
than the erotic one.
What do you think, man?
So out of the three we talked about, which one was the
This is
wor-
100% the
the
worst.
worst one?
No, this is better than your pick. I would still rather watch this.
Like, if it wasn't 98 minutes, it would be a fun thing to watch, but those segments I talk about, they go for fucking 20 minutes each. And nothing happens. There's a segment where this guy, like, mentally implodes. He's, like, on this computer. And it's like an infomercial where he's trying to sell this computer, but either his brain's not working or he starts, like, doing shit with his tongue. He's, like, in the middle. Like, I don't know what's happening.
People start breaking down.
He mentally breaks down.
Okay.
Maybe this is a commentary on life. It's Life Day after all. Holy shit.
All right.
So, like, it's literally just to make... It's clearly just to make money, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was a TV pilot that they were hoping would take off and they could make it to a TV show. This was going to be the first... This was going to be pre-Mandalorian, pre-Clone Wars, the first Star Wars TV show.
Wow.
But...
Thank fuck it failed.
well, this is relevant now because they're doing a second Star Wars holiday special coming out this year, which is an animated one.
Holiday special or Christmas special?
I think it's a holiday special, yeah, which is hopefully better than this.
And they're also doing a Guardians of the Galaxy
Holiday special,
as well.
yeah,
I
which
think
is also
people just,
hopefully
like,
better than this.
People just trying to be politically correct and not saying Christmas special anymore? Or they just...
Yeah,
Well-
I think holiday special is a bit just more global. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're obviously not politically correct because we're calling this a Christmas special episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Star Wars holiday special. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. I don't know why you would. It's on YouTube, yeah. It's also shot like a porn video. Everything's like lit very poorly. Like there is that VR erotic dance if you want.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anything more to say about this.
Great. What a combination of films that we just talked about.
Yeah. I think I chose the most normal ones.
Yes.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually going to talk about the that new Vanessa Hudgens movie, but
We'll save that for next year then.
no, I'm not.
You should watch the Drew Gooden video on it.
On
all
the Vanessa Hudgens ones?
He roasts
Yeah.
all of them.
yeah. To be honest,
Apparently they're so fucked up.
that movie's better than this bloody holiday special.
Okay. I guess that brings us to the end. Hopefully you're having a great Christmas day, got heaps of presents and enjoying time with your family. If you guys want to get in touch with us, how do they go about it?
You want to do this, Kireeti? Do you know this?
Yeah, it's cognitive recalibration at cognitive.com.
He got it. That's it, boys.
I can't remember what it is.
It's cognitive recalibration podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
And then on all other platforms as well. It's just cognitive recalibration.
I will skip this part because I don't want to contact you guys.
Well, you can just contact us directly. You don't have to go via these channels. If you want to support the podcast, there's a variety of ways you can do that. So one is obviously just give us a review on iTunes or Spotify.
Just give us money.
That's also an option. You can actually do that now.
Because this is demonetized now. So we need it.
Only accepted in which currency again? Swedish krona.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that even a currency anymore?
I don't know.
Pretty sure they use the euro.
But that's the only one I want.
So you can use our Amazon affiliate links. So I'll put links to, if anyone wants to actually buy any of these movies, you can do so.
Except for the holiday special. You can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
You can't buy that anywhere.
They're all destroyed.
Yeah. But it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
I'll pay you to buy the movie.
I can't,
That's
mate.
how
I
bad
would.
it is.
I would. I can't, though.
You can use any of our Amazon affiliate links in the description. Another method you can use is you can provide a small donation using Buy Me a Coffee. There'll be a link down below as well. And we also have a Acast link where you can also sponsor the podcast.
Is this new? These new?
Over the last 6 months or so. Yeah.
Oh, so like you've had this in other podcasts?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I've really not listened to your podcast then. Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah,
I guess this is the point where everyone switches off.
this should be
If
the
not
point.
earlier.
Yeah.
Everyone switched off at the Christmas Chronicles too, so
To be honest,
no one got to the bloody
I listen to
holiday
the podcast
special.
at like 1.5 times speed,
Yeah.
which is good. It's a good speed. Good
Okay.
speed. And then when you talk about retarded movies, I go up to like 2, 3. Yeah.
So for Chris, this whole thing would be 2 then.
Yeah, look.
3, yeah.
Look, that was a good.
What speed
that was a good,
did you listen to
That
this
was a good
podcast
45 seconds of this podcast that you just listened to.
Well, if you did get all the way to the end of this podcast, thank you for listening.
Which movie did you stop at? Wait, they wouldn't get to this part, so they can't even answer that question. Oops.
Okay, I guess we'll leave you guys here. Have a great day and hope everyone's safe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.